Good evening and welcome to Daf Yomi Maseches Chagigah, Daf Yud number 17. Of course, we have a spectacular share for you tonight. I don't know, some people have different things they say after Shabbos is over to wish people a good week. I was talking with my Israeli neighbor over here, barely speaks a word of English. I said, what do you say? You say Shavua Tov or you say Good Vach? He says, I say Good Vach, because he's a yeshiva guy, he learns in Kollel. I said, your father-in-law, who happens to live downstairs here, he is also a yeshiva guy. He has a store here, but he still learns in yeshiva, and he says Shavua Tov. I said, your father-in-law says Shavua Tov. You don't say like your father-in-law? He didn't seem to mind. He says, I say Good Vach. So he asked me, what do I say? I say, if you're lucky, I say, have a good week. If I'm not in the best mood, I say, have a good night. Be well. Is that okay? I don't know. Is that halachically, hashkafically okay? I'm not sure if that's hashkafically okay. Anyway, welcome to Ian, to Ben Sion's shir. As we've been trying to do, we've had some imitations of party-like. I don't have anything. I didn't plan anything, but you know what? I have this pillow over here. I mean, it's personal, but anyway, people maybe can play with this at a party. I don't know. Enjoy this thing at a party. It's like a pillow in the shape of a heart. Is there anything wrong with me doing this? All right, we have that pillow over here. Come to a party. Maybe you'll have nice pillows to play with. All right. People think I go overboard on my shirt. Actually, I don't know what people think. I have no idea what people think about my shirt. Maybe you can let me know in the comments. Tell me what you think. I had a friend of mine who's a singer. Maybe some of you heard of him. His name is Hillel Mayer. He sang at my chasana. He sang at my sister-in-law's chasana. And he was in yeshiva with me. I don't think he's still in yeshiva in Beitar, right? Freeman's yeshiva. He's a singer. He's a wedding singer, and he puts out some singles once in a while. Put out a single recently. He told me to spread the word. So, Hillel, if you're listening, I'm spreading the word about his new single. It's a medley of different short chasana songs that he came up with new tunes for them. Personally told me it was his own tunes. He didn't borrow the tunes from anybody else, and he had a nice clip. A clip they call it in Hebrew. In English, it's called a music video. He had a music video, different types of Jews dancing, Hasidic Jews, Yeshivish Jews, regular Jews, Chabad Jews, a Chabad guy. I don't know, looking in astonishment as people dance. I called, he left me a message. He sent me the video WhatsApp, and he told me to look at it. And he also gave me a compliment. He said, I listen to your shir once in a while. I love it. He said, I love it. Okay, I don't know if that he meant that wholeheartedly, but maybe he did. But it was nice to hear a compliment. I don't really get too much feedback. Usually the feedback I get is from my mother. She's the only one who really constantly watches the shir. She gives me feedback, things that she likes about it, things she doesn't like about it. I would like to hear other people's feedback also. If you happen to be tuning into this shir, it's your first time listening to my shir, listen hard. Put your ear and eyes 1 inch away from the screen. Stare at the screen. Don't move your head for the entire shir. And listen. I'm joking. You don't have to do that. You can sit, you can open up your laptop, have a nice viewing experience. I try to give the shir within half an hour. Because, as I say, it's on a platform, only on a platform, YouTube. I really do not intend to. This is the main platform of the shir. It will always be, hopefully, the main platform of the shir. It is an entertainment shir. It is shir on an entertainment platform. Because the purpose of my shir is entertain, I have many other videos I put on my YouTube channel which are more comedic, more funny. They're meant to be entertaining, humorous. I have a lot of fun on this shir, and that justifies you watching it just for entertainment value, and that's why I keep it within a half an hour, because, like I always say, Seinfeld was able to win the hearts of the masses in a half an hour. I can do it also. All right, let's start. Zainam and Bees. towards the bottom, the Gemara discusses the concept of smicha. Um, being somech on an animal, when you bring korban, you're supposed to lean your hands on it. It's a mitzvah to lean your hands on it. And to mitzvah, if it's a chatas or an ashram, you tell your sins. If not, there's a mitzvah just a smicha to lean your hands on it. So the Gemara has a debate whether you have to do it with all your weight or not. So the Gemara says, Amarami Barchamba, about like 3 lines in the short lines, from the bottom of the short lines. Amarami Barchamba, Shmamina, Smicha, B'cholkocha, Bayin, and you have to do it with your full weight on the animal. If you think you don't have to, you just merely have to place your hands on the animal. My kavit lismoch. What's the problem, right? There's a machlokas we had whether you got to do smicha or not. Bishamai says a lot of the big tanoim originally in the previous generations. The first machlokas is about smicha on Yom Tov, you're allowed to do it or not. The reason being that you can't do it is because it's a shvus. You're not allowed to ride an animal, and similarly, you're not allowed to lean your weight on an animal. So if smicha, the mitzvah, just requires that you have to place your hands on the animal without leaning on the animal, so there should be no problem. Why should all these tanoim and why does Shammai have a problem with this? So it seems to be a good proof that smicha, when you do the mitzvah smicha, you have to place your whole weight on it. And that's the machlokas. Beis Hillel holds, or all the tanoim hold, that you're allowed to do smicha holds the mitzvah. A smicha overrides the shvus. And the other poskim, other tanoim hold, it doesn't override it. Meisive. Bryce says, Daber al b'nei Yisrael v'samach. Plus it says you should speak to b'nei Yisrael v'samach. Samach is singular. Also is samach doesn't say samcha. Samach is a masculine term. B'nei Yisrael samcha and b'nei Yisrael samcha. Tanakama holds only men are required to do smicha. Women, when they don't bring a korban, they're not required to do smicha. Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Shmuel, omrim b'nei Yisrael samcha l'shashas. Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yossi say that women are allowed to, if they choose to, they're allowed to be somech. Amar Rabbi Yossi Sachli Abba Lazar. Rabbi Yossi said, my Abba Lazar told me, Pamachas hayalanu egel shal zivkei. Shlomo had a calf that he brought as a shlam. And Devinu Ezra's nashim. It's Ham Kolav nashim. He brought it as a family. Apparently, as a family korban. They brought it to Ezra's nashim because the women are not allowed to go into the azara. Only men only go to the azara. And the women, they place it at the end, the border between the azara, the Ezra's nashim, and the Ezra's nashim. And the woman did smicha. It's not because smicha is necessary for the woman. They don't have to do it. The only mitzvah of smicha is only for men. Probably because the mitzvah says shazman grama. Well, it's debatable was mitzvah shazman grama. The main reason is because the Torah uses the masculine lashon, the samach. We know women these days, even in the frum world, want to have more rights. Nothing wrong with rights. I'm not saying any woman's rights. I'm not commenting. I'm not getting the politics over here. But the mitzvah is that nowadays women want to sit in a sukkah. They want to shake lulav. They want to hear the shofar. You have to go, even though the women are patur from hearing the shofar, your wife will make you go to an early minyan on Rosh Hashanah when you have to daven the whole day in shul. And you have to wake up for vasikin. And then you have to go and watch the kids afterward. You can't take a nap. You have to watch the kids. So your wife could go hear the shofar, even though she's patur, because women really want to hear the shofar. And the way I think they teach nowadays is almost like it's a chiyuv for a woman. Women are confused when you tell them you don't have to hear the shofar. You don't have to sit in the sukkah. You don't have to shake lulav. Women are confused. They think like you have to do it. It's become like almost like you have to do it. It's crazy. I mean, practically it doesn't work, and the men run around town, trying to blow women for shofar. They go in all their houses so that women can hear shofar. They don't have to hear shofar. But the Gemara says it makes them feel good. But if it makes them feel good at the expense of the husband can't sleep on the whole day of Rosh Hashanah, that's a problem. I know what you're thinking, and Mishnah is not to sleep on Rosh Hashanah, but if you're Yoshif Batel, then it's like same thing as sleeping. All right. Isaac the Gemara concludes this proof. You need to do smicha with all your lean on the animal with all your power, mishum nacha with all your weight, mishum nachas ruach nashim adina avoda b'kach. We're going to allow the woman to do avoda b'kach. Now you're not allowed to work animal. Once you're makdish an animal, you make it a korban. You can't do work with it. So when you lean your whole weight on the animal, so you're making the animal work to support you. So you're not allowed to work. That's considered me'ilah. You're not allowed to work with the animal. So if it's a mitzvah to do smicha, so the Torah allows you to do it, it's not called working the animal. But if it's not a mitzvah, it's just a rishus, how could the woman do it? It must be that smicha is not kol kocho. Elav shaman elav, but kol kocho just means a woman puts their hands on top of the animal. like they bless the kids on Friday night. That's all. So the Gemara, I'll tell you, when smicha the mitzvah of smicha does need your full power. You have to lean your entire weight on the animal, the head of the animal, presumably. When it came to the woman, we didn't say, we said the case was that the woman just put their hands on top. They didn't lean their weight on them. Typically, the anal smicha kla. Why did the Tana say, why did the words, lo b'nei smicha v'nashim? He should have said better. He should have said what they're doing is not called smicha. Smicha needs to be called kocho. When they're not leaning on the animal, we don't allow them to lean on the animal. So the Gemara answers, Amar Rabbi Ami chad v'od really that was included. There were two reasons. Chad blazes smicha kal. First of all, which was a given, there's no smicha. They're not resting their hands on the animal. They're just resting their hands on the animal. They're not resting their entire weight on the animal. V'od k'dei lasus nachas ruach l'nashim. And secondly, the reason that they allowed them to do this is in order to give nachas ruach l'nashim. You see, according to both opinions, that you're not allowed to do smicha, and it would be bal tosif if the woman would do it b'toras chiyuv. So if the woman think that they're chayiv in Kiyah Shofar, it could be bal tosif. They have to do it in a way that people will let them know you are not chayiv in blowing shofar. That's what I would conclude from this Gemara. Amar Rav Papa Shmamina Stadin Asurans. Now the Gemara diverts to a different discussion. The Gemara in Shabbos, the Gemara in Beitza talk about this prohibition, shvus on Shabbos and Yom Tov. You're not allowed to ride an animal. You're not allowed to lean your weight on an animal. What about on the sides of an animal or a tree? If another tree is just something else you can't lean on. Shmamina Stadin Asurans. The Gemara at the end of Mizakos Shabbos is a machlokas whether stadin or mutter or stadin asur. If you lean your weight on the side of the animal, not on the head of the animal. So the Gemara concludes, must be stadin or asura. These are like a stadin mutar, and this machlat stadin. Right? We should just allow these women to do smicha b'kol kocha, and do it on the stadin, because that's not considered leaning on the side of the animal. It's not considered being supported by the animal. Now, lashma stadin asura must be that it's considered being supported by the animal, even if you're on the side of the animal. Ravashi Amar. Ravashi rejects this on top of Yudayim and Aleph. I feel the with stadin mutar. Even if you want to tell me stadin are mutter, called bahadi gaba kigaba dami. Even if you want to tell me that stadin really are mutter, that leaning on the side of the animal is not called leaning on the animal. The back of the animal is considered like the top of the animal. There is no stadin by an animal. The Gemara discusses stadin by a tree. When it comes to an animal, the whole back of the animal it's like leaning on the animal. That's what Ravashi says. The whole back of the animal. Anytime you lean, it's not called stud. It's not called the side of the animal. The Gemara's example of studding is like you attach a nail to a tree or something like that. You attach a beam to a tree. You lean on the beam. So that would be studding. But here it's not studding. You're leaning on the animal itself. So even if it's not the direct head or the direct back of the animal, it's on the side of the animal, it's still considered leaning on the animal. That seems to be the maskana. Studding would be mutter by a tree, but not by an animal. Mishnah says, Beishamai Omrim Mevin Shlomim Ein Som Chanalei, and this is, if you're familiar with Maseches Beitza, the same Mishnah Maseches Beitza. Beishamai says you can bring on Yom Tov Shlomim, Korban Shlomim, Ein Som Chanalei, Avalo Olos. You can bring Shlomim, you can't do Smicha. Like we learned in the previous Mishnah, they don't know how to do Smicha because it doesn't. It's a mitzvah ba'aveira. And you can't even bring Olos. Olos you can't bring because you're not benefiting from them. You're only allowed to do Malacha, shech the animal, and burn the animal on Mizbeach if it's Tzorech head yod, if it's for people, Ochel Nefesh, but for Tzorech Kavoah, for Hashem, does not base, Shammai does not allow that. Beis Hillel says, no, first of all, you can bring Shloma and Olos, because they hold, like the Gemara says in Beis Daf Yud Beis, that it's a concept of mitoch you're allowed to do it for yourself. You're also allowed to do it for Hashem also. And you're allowed to be somech on them because mitzvah, it's not called mitzvah bavera. The mitzvah is docha, the shvus. Let's say Shavuos fell out on a Friday. So Shabbos says you can't bring the olos right on Yom Tov. So you can't bring on Shabbos. Also, everyone be on Shabbos. You can't bring korbanos, even Beis Hillel. So you have to wait to bring your korbanos. Your olos you have to bring on Sunday. Beis Hillel in Yom Tov Shabbos. We'll see this means it's a regular Yom Tov. On Friday you bring all your korbanos like Beis Hillel allows you to do. Umodim, they both agree. Shimchal lios b'Shabbos if Shavuos falls on Shabbos, Yom Tov Shabbos, in the day when you bring both the shlamim and the olos, it's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be on Sunday, the day after Shavuos. In Kohen Gadol mislabish b'kilav. That Sunday, where you're bringing the karbanos, the Kohen Gadol does not wear Shabbos clothes. Mislabish or Yom Tov clothes. When we turn behesped with Tainis, you're allowed to give eulogies, you're allowed to fast. Shalol l'kayim divrei ha'omer atzeres achar Shabbos, because we're concerned if we treat it as an actual Yom Tov. On Sunday, we make a big deal of showing that really Shabbos is not Shavuos and Sunday is Shavuos. That Sedukin always said that Macharas HaShabbos, Shavuos, is Mimacharas HaShabbos, is on Sunday. That's what they concluded. Not Mimacharas HaShabbos after the first day of Yom Tov. We interpret it as the first day of Yom Tov. You start counting the Sphira. Sedukim start counting from after Shabbos Bereshis to the seventh day of the week. Therefore, Shavuos always fall on a Sunday, according to them. We want to show that's not true. Amar Elazar, the Gemara says, Amar Oshaya, Minayin Lasera Sheish Tashlumin Kol Shiva. How do you know Shavuos has Tashlumin? Meaning that you can make it up. If you don't bring the karbanos that you're supposed to bring on the first day of Shavuos, you can bring it for all 7 days, for the 6 days afterwards also. We know there's a concept, we had it earlier in the Masechta that, for example, Chag HaMatzos, Chag Shavuos, and Chag HaSukkos, you could do this. How do you know Shavuos? You could do it also. Shenemar Chag HaMatzos, Chag HaShavuos, Chag HaSukkos. Pasuk connects all three regalim. Makish Chag HaShavuos, Chag HaMatzos. To connect Shavuos to the Pesach. Ma Chag HaMatzos, Yesh Tashlumin Kol Shiva, Chag HaShavuos, Yesh Tashlumin Kol Shiva. We learned earlier in Daf Test that we learned Pesach learns from Sukkot. Just like Sukkot, you have Tashlumin. So too by Chag HaMatzos, you have Tashlumin the whole Yom Tov. So now we're learning just like Chag HaMatzos, also Chag HaShavuos has Tashlumin to bring the karbanos if you didn't bring it that day. Why should we connect it to Chag HaMatzos? Let's connect to Chag HaSukkos. Chag HaSukkos is really the original pasuk with Chagosem Hashem. It says Chagigah. That's the original limud on Daf Test. Learns from Sukkos, so that's where we should learn it from. To Shavuos. Chag HaSukkos yesh tashlumin kol shmona. Chag HaShavuos yesh tashlumin kol shmona. Therefore, we should have 7 days after the original Yom Tov. There's a total of 8 days to bring the karbanos, not just 7 days like Pesach. So my answer is Shmini Regel of Neatzmo. You can't learn from Sukkot because Shmini Atzeres after Sukkot is its own Yom Tov. It's not part of Sukkot. So the Gemara says, "Emor da'amri Shmini Regel of Neatzmo hu hani mili linyan pazar kashav." When do we say Shmini Atzeres is not considered part of Sukkot? It's only regarding unique halachos, like these 6 halachos: pazars, payis, zman is shechianu. You make it do shechianu on Atzeres, on Shmini Atzeres. Reish is what is Reish? Reish is regel. It's considered regel that you say different in Shmona Esrei. You say a different word. Shmini Chag Atzeres Hazeh. Kashav is korban. You bring a different korbanos than Sukkot. Shir is different shir that the Kohanim say, and Beis is bracha. You don't say a bracha of the sukkah on the sukkah if you're eating the sukkah on the 8th day. Aval in Tashlumin Derishna, but we say Tashlumin. It's really considered Tashlumin. Yishmini Atzeres is considered part of Sukkot. The Gabi Tashlumin. So the Gemara says this now. We have a Mishnah like the Mishnah Chag Yom Tov Rishon Shel Chag. Chagigah is called a regular Yom Tov Achron. We know Mefurish that you're allowed the Tashlumin on Sukkot does apply for all 8 days. If you mix the karbanos on the first day, you can bring it up until even Shmini Atzeres included. So the Gemara finally relents and answers Tafas Amrubal Tafas Tafas Amrubal Tafas. The reason we connect Shavuos to Pesach and not to Sukkot is this concept that when you have a gain to make, you're trying to gain money. Let's say you're trying to gain money in the stock market. You don't go for the bigger gain. You start with the smaller gain. This is my new strategy in the stock market. We'll talk about it in the future to come. Hopefully, I'll be more successful than I was in the past. I'm learning this tafasta mu tafasta mrubo tafasta tafasta mu tafasta. Take your gains, sell when you have your gains, and continue to make money. All right. Ella l'may hilchasa kasir rachmana. So why, for what halacha? Why did it mention the pasuk Chag HaSukkos? Kasir rachmana l'Chag HaSukkos. Why is Chag HaSukkos mentioned in the pasuk? We just learned Chag HaMatzos to connect to Shavuos, to learn that Shavuos is Tashlumin for 7 days. So where it says no, that's the akush to Chag HaMatzos. Chag HaSukkos is mentioned in the pasuk to compare it to Pesach. Ma Chag HaMatzos ton lina. A new halacha, just like Pesach, when you go to the Beis Hamikdash, after you bring the karbanos on the first day, you have to stay over Motzei Yom Tov Rishon, stay over in Yerushalayim. Av Chag HaSukkos ton lina, also by Sukkos, the first day, after you bring korbanos, you stay there for the first day of Yom Tov. You have to stay there for a night also. Also, and where do you know by Pesach that you have to stay? The chsiv, the top of your time with beis, ufanisa boker v'lachta alecha. Boker, you leave in the morning, so it must be you stayed the night, and then you go home. So the Mishnah says that Shavuos falls on Erev Shabbos, on Friday. We had this in our Mishnah. Shammai says the day where you bring the korbanos is on Sunday. This is a seemingly interesting statement by Yisrael. There's no Yom Tov, you don't shech. Whereas my love ain't Yom Tov klal. Doesn't mean that there's no Yom Tov, and the Gemara is bringing a proof that there's no Tashlumin. Meaning they hold you can't. That's what the Mishnah is saying. Only Yom Tov, I mean you can't make it up. You can't make it up. So the Gemara says, "Lo she'ena sricha Yom Tov." What it means is that it doesn't need a Yom Tov because you could bring. They're just coming to say that arguing Beis Shammai, you're allowed to bring the korbanos on Friday itself. So the Gemara asks, "My kamashmalan makaravina biyom." So if that's the chiddush, that all it tells me is that you're allowed to bring olos and shlamim on Friday itself. Already in the Mishnah previously. The top of the Mishnah, I talked about that once already. The Snan, Bishamai, Omer, Mavin, Shlamim, in Talmud Aleh. Avalo Olos, Vesel, Mavin, Shlamim, Olos, Talmud Aleh. So why do I have to repeat the same thing? Where's the Sricha? You need both mentionings. The Ashmin and Baha, if we just said in one case, Baha Kamri Beishamai, Mishum, the Efshal and Machar. Beishamai only said that the reason that you're not allowed to bring Shlamim and bring Olos on Yom Tov, the reason you're not allowed to bring Olos according to Beishamai, is because normally you could do it the next day. I have a hacha, but when Shabbos is next day, Friday is the day of Shavuos, and Sunday is the next day, I would think Beis Shammai agrees to Beis Hillel, and they would allow you to bring all this on Friday, because you have to wait 2 days. If we would have said that case, Baha Kamri Beis Hillel, if we said the case of Friday, that's why Beis Hillel said, that's why they said you could bring the Olos on Friday. But a regular case where Shavuos falls out in the middle of the week, they would agree to Beis Shammai. You shouldn't bring an Olos on Yom Tov. You should wait till the next day, Sricha. Therefore, you need both mentionings, both ways of phrasing a machlokas. Tashma. We're trying to figure out, again, whether you have Tashlumin for 7 days for the Karbanos of Chag HaShavuos. Mishal Chag Shavuos Yimei HaPesach, Shmoni Yimei HaChag, Yom Tov Rishon Shal Atzeres, Shuvah Eno Chogeg. Anyone who didn't bring the Karbanos for the 7 days of Pesach and the 8 days of Shavuos and the first day of Atzeres, he doesn't celebrate anymore. My love, Yom Tov Shal Atzeres doesn't mean Yom Tov Shal Atzeres, meaning the actual day of Yom Tov, the day of Shavuos. So you see, you have no Tashlumin. When it says Lo Yom Tvoach, it means you don't have more than Shavuos that day and the day afterwards, which is a makeup day. You only have 1 day to make it up, not more than 1 day. Ema, so the Gemara says, no, Ema Yemei Tvach. Don't say Yom Tvach, say, what the Bryce is meant to say is Yemei Tvach, which is 6 days to make it up. Tashma, Tani Rab Bar Shmuel, Amar Torah, Mana Yamim V'Kadesh Chodesh. Torah said, count days and sanctify the new moon and make Rosh Chodesh. Mana Yamim V'Kadesh Atzeres. Also, it said in the Torah, count days and make Shavuos. If count 49 days, the 50th day is Shavuos. Ma Chodesh, the Nuyav, just like Rosh Chodesh is the Nuyav, Atzeres the Nuyah. So too Chodesh is by the day. It's reckoned by the days. You count 29 or 30 days. You don't count hours. So too Atzeres also is based on 1 day. Just like Chodesh, we only celebrate it. The Gemara is going to explain in a second. My love, Gemara mi Chodesh, ma Chodesh Yom Echad. What does this mean? Ma Chodesh the Nuyah, Atzeres the Nuyah. My love, Gemara mi Chodesh. We learn from Rosh Chodesh. Ma Chodesh Yom Echad. Only 1 day you bring korbanos. There's no tashlumin for the korbanos of Rosh Chodesh. Avatzeres Yom Echad. So Shavuos also there's no tashlumin. I'm a Rav of Tispra. Rav says there like sure. Atu Atzeres Yom Yemayin and Shavuos Yemayin. There's no concept of counting weeks by Shavuos or to count up until Shavuos during Sfira. I'm a Abaye. Abaye says in Menachos mitzvah minne yomi. It's a mitzvah to count days. The Chsiv Tisra Chamishim Yom. You have to count 50 days. It says 50 days. A mitzvah minne Shavuos. You have to count weeks. The Chsiv Shiva Shavuos. Sapar Tispar Lecha. It says in the Torah 7 weeks. Chag HaShavuos, the way it refers to the holiday, Shavuos, holiday of weeks. So you see that it's called weeks also, so that's why it's different than Rosh Chodesh. Therefore, you have 7 days, you have a week to make it up. So the Gemara seems satisfied. We've proven already that Tashlumin for Shavuos is 7 days. Now the Gemara brings another proof. Another reason that it would have Tashlumin for 7 days. Ukrasem v'kutzrachem. It says when it comes to Shavuos in relation to Chag Shavuos, it says a karasem, which talks about karasem moed. You make it into a yom tov. V'kutzrachem, and it says about reaping. Regarding kutzrachem, it's talking about Shavuos also. Ezu Chag shetakore v'kotz erbo, which is a holiday that you call it a convocation, meaning you celebrate as a yom tov, and you do ktsira, and you cut down something. Heavy Omer zeh Chag Atzeres. Must be Chag Atzeres. Emas ilema b'yom tov. If it's Shavuos is really only one day, ktsira b'yom tov mishar, you're allowed to cut down grain on the first day on Yom Tov. It must be that Chag Atzeres is called Kriya and it's called Ksira. The first day is called Kriya. It's a Yom Tov. You don't do Malacha. The other 6 days you have Tashlumin. It's really also part of Shavuos, so to speak, and therefore you could be kotzer. You could reap during those days. Avagav the Idmar. So that's in the second proof. Avagav the Idmar. That's Amar Vashai. It's Jeff Ben Yaakov. The Gemara is going to say why we need both of these proofs that Shavuos has Tashlumin for 7 days. The Imid Razar Amar Vashaya Lamina. Tashlumin Shachag Matzos Asur B'Sis Malacha. After Tashlumin Yatzeres Nami Asur B'Sis Malacha. If we're learning out Chagigah Matzos from Pesach had to work 7 days. Even Chol Hamoed, there's only certain malachas you're allowed to do. So you might think the Tashlumin of Atzeres, the 6 days after Shavuos, also you can't do work. That's not the case. Kamashma, there's Rabbi Yaakov, but he says it's Ksira that you can actually do work. We just had the proof for Rabbi Yaakov that you can Tashlumin for Shavuos, the top of Yochem and Aleph. We wouldn't know how many days you have for Tashlumin. Kamashma, there's Amar Vashaya. We learned from Ezra Vashaya that you have 6 more days. You have 7 days. Celebrate Shavuos, 6 days Tashlumin. Hope you enjoyed today's shir. Good vach, Shavua Tov. Goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow. I want to see you tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow morning, and we're having a great shir for you tomorrow. Unbelievable. Only the best here at the Ben Sion Link channel. Check me out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I do post on these things occasionally. All right. See you soon. Bye.